Assalamu
Okay.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome all our students for today workshop. So this workshop is going to be conducted in collaboration between ISS Iraq and also one of the Iraqi University, which is Thi-Qar University. And today, the presenter will be Dr. Saleem, and he will, inshallah, introduce himself in details for you, and he will start doing the session for you of all. So I would like to thank Dr. Saleem for his attendance and for his effort for this workshop, and also for the rest of the participants to join us. Thank you very much, and now I hand it to you, Dr. Saleem.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear participants, I would like to welcome in our workshop how to prepare your academic paper for publishing in scholarly journal. I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Saleem Ethaib Mohammad. I'm Associate Prof in University of Thi-Qar. I'm specialist in environmental engineering from civil engineering. So today I will present this topic. I think this topic is what we have time, so we will try to cover the most important things. So our presentation will, unfortunately, I forgot to thank ISS IRAQ. It's not ISI, ISS IRAQ, and International Student Association in UTM for this invitation. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Hamza and Dr. Amir Yassin, and hopefully they will get their graduation as soon and to celebrate with them. So our topic will cover today who are the publisher and what do we do, and also I will give you some practical tips before you are write, and what make a good manuscript. The article also will discuss the article structures. If we have time, we will try to give you some publishing ethics. So first of all, we would like to define the scholarly journal. Scholarly journal can also be called academic journal, or very often called peer-reviewed journal. This the name of journals. So also the articles, they have several names. They call sometimes paper. Before publishing, they called manuscripts. So all of them, they for the same meaning, that's mean article. So there is no difference between article and paper and manuscripts. This article should include some research and academic topics. These journals differ from commercial journals by authors. The authors normally academic or expert in discipline or field who writing these articles. So the general purpose for publishing is to facilitate scholarly communication between members of particular academic discipline, or sometimes for the public. So the peer review process, the difference between please can you mute for the participants? Okay. So the difference between commercial journals, commercial articles, and academic articles that published by peer review, the peer review process. That means the article have judged by referee, and the referee is expert or researcher or academic person writing in this field, not like commercial journals that just the authors write and publish for public without referring. The publishers normally academic organizations, but somehow commercials. The most famous publishers, Elsevier from Netherlands, Taylor and Francis from Britain, Springer from Germany, John Wiley from US, and many of the publishers around the world, but the most famous, as I said, Elsevier. Why we published? As academic and scholar, we have to publish because some of universities that set regulation, the scholars or graduate students have to publish as a requirement of PhD or master degree. Another issue, as a researcher, we have to publish. If we look forward for progression for career, we have to publish. Right now, many universities throughout the world, they ask the person who apply for position, academic position, about his publication and H-index. That means he has to publish and get citation and then get good H-index. The most important question you have to focus with me right now, what can be published? So what can be published? A new and original results or methods, reviews or summaries of particular subjects. Also, we can publish the manuscripts that include the advance of the knowledge and understanding in a certain scientific field. What cannot be to publish? Reports of no scientific interest, out of date work, duplication of a previously published work, incorrect and unacceptable conclusions. As you know, the difference between report and the research topic. The research topic has a problem statement. For report, we don't have problem statement, just report some information and make editing for this information and can be published for the public. And there is no solution that's set for this problem statement. This is the difference between the research and report. So if we have problem statement, then we have aim. I will go with just a little bit with the methodology of research. If we have problem statement, then we have to set aim to solve this problem statement. Then we have to look for about method to get this aim and solve this problem statement. Right now we have problem statement, we have aim, we have methodology to get this problem statement, to solve this problem statement. Then after we did our methods and or experiments in this about this method, then we will get results. Our results we have to discuss to see and to understand, have we solved our problem or not? So that is discussion related to problem statement. Finally, we have to get the conclusion. The conclusions that mean, have we solved this problem or not? So this is the logical flowchart for any research. I mean, scientific research somehow is different from humanities disciplines. So if you want to publish, you have to get a new and original results or methods. That means you have good contribution. If you have good contribution, you will get publication faster than others. So who help us for publication in this process? When I try to publish, I have to submit for the journal. So the first person who see my article is the editor or chief and editor or some member of editorial board. So this person, he is expert in the field of the journal, or depend on the journal, because we have multidisciplinary journal or miscellaneous journals or specific journals. It depends on the journal scope. So the editor doesn't have time because he has a lot of paper have submitted to the journal. Then you have to prepare your article before submitting. Then if the editor say yes, this is considerable in our journal and cover on the scope of the journal cover the research topic, then he will transfer your article for the second round for the reviewers. The reviewers normally expert in the field of your research. On this, they are published work in the same field. They will give you comments and feedback about your research. So here you have to respond them in firstly in polite way and a professional way. The editor normally gets some money or from the journal, or sometimes he works as a volunteer. For the reviewer, almost there is no money, just give certificate or recognition from the journal. Where, that's another question, where I should publish. So I have to find the reliable indexing and reliable journal for publishing. The most reliable journal, ISI. And ISI come from Information Scientific Institution that was founded as 60s by Eugene Garfield. He's American scientist and who worked to about indexing as 60s and then develop this indexing to be ISI. ISI, the first name for the journal right now, they call Journal of Web of Science or Journal of Climate Analytics. That's already now in Thomson Reuters. And the well-known name for ISI journal, they call impact factor journals. The most, I said this, the most indexing. We have many indexing. We have Scopus that made by Elsevier in 2004. So till now is available and has around 23,000 journals. 23,000 journals available in Scopus. And meanwhile in ISI around 12,000. Also we have, this is the most reliable, ISI and Scopus. Also we have Google Scholar, we have many indexing web, some of them national like Russian, Chinese, Indian, Serbian, Polish, they have indexing webs, but the most important we have to look for ISI, because if we publish in ISI journals, I think the Viva, it will be easier than when I publish in Unreliable or in Google Scholar on another, in EBSCO or DOAJ or whatever. So ISI journals like Scopus, like Simago, they divide their journal for 4 quartiles, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, for each discipline. So we have to look for the first one for Q1, the first quartile. That means we have high contribution. And we have a good paper to publish in. We have good paper to publish in this indexing. Then, right now, some people, they ask you how long I take for publish. I need to publish in 1 week or 3 weeks. I have good paper, he said, but I need to publish in 2 weeks. I think this is not acceptable because the process will take long. So if you look this chart, you see around 5% of research that published in 5 weeks. And here you can see most of papers that published within 15 weeks. So it takes too long. So here, because the process is too long and complicated, because first the editor suggests reviewer, then send email, it takes 1 week, then the reviewer, he said, oh, yes or not. If he said yes, okay, he give them 1 month or more for review and return back. It takes too long. So you have to expect at least 2, 3 and more months and more. So you have to be patient. Right now, we have general information about publication. Then I asked you to don't panic. Why? Because the publication is not impossible, but difficult and take time, but you have to be confident because you did your research. No one like you know your research. This is the secret of publishing, because you go to the lab, you went to the lab and did your research and you get new findings. So, and take 1 year or 2 years in writing and work on this statement and this topic. So no one like you know as much as. So you have to be confident and be patient. Then you will get published fast. So I'm ready to prepare my article for publication. I answered all the questions where I publish. I decide to where I publish, and then I have to prepare my article for publication. Before I prepare, I have some question. I have to ask this question. Is it new and interesting? Then I decide which part of journal I have to go. Is it my topic? Is it hot and still interested by others? Have provided solution to some difficult problems? Then I will be ready. If I answer yes, yes, yes for this answer, then I will start to write. Then I started to writing. Before I started to writing, I will give you some information about the types of research articles. We have 4 types of, this is the general, of research article. We have letter or short communications, and this is not familiar with us. Almost we did full articles. This is the short communication. This is can be published when we have urgent information and we need to publish as fast as and before complete our investigations. So not too much data and detail will publish in this type. Another type of publishing is review paper. You have topic and you make the map, you made the map for this topic, and then you study and summarize all up-to-date paper about this topic. We did the review for several reasons. First of them, to discover the scientific gap and then can move forward in our research. This is the first point or the first step when we did our research normally. So the scholars, they have to review several papers. After reviewing several, it's not several, that means we have sometimes get reviews hundreds of papers. So after that, you can summarize them and publish this paper. This type of paper very useful to get citation and get your H-index higher than others. We have the familiar and the most famous one, full articles that's called original article or research article or research. Just this contain significant data, details, developments, and outcomes. This is normal research. We call full research or research articles. When you submit your paper in OJS, the system, electronic system for the journal, they asked you which type of article you will submit. So then if you have research article, just say research paper or research article. If you have review, okay, you can go with review. Also, there's a type of articles they call microarchical format. This is not famous like the others. This is just when you have data, software, methods, video, you can publish without introductions, without just publish like this type, and just go on with this format and you can publish. But this is not research article. Now, I'm ready to write my article. So if I'm ready to write, I have to know which structure I should follow to write this article. Normally, engineers, applied science, scientific science for applied science, they follow structured format. That's include MRAD formula. I will discuss this in next slides. So that MRAD, that's mean introduction. We have methods, result, and discussion. And structure, we have another form of article. They just unstructured. That's mean just we make paragraphs and a few paragraphs with heading and subheading, and then summarize each section for this paragraphs, and then can be submitted. Unstructured, almost we deal with the review or humanitarian science, or can be done with scientific by applied science or engineering, depend on the disciplines. For structure, typical structure of research paper that follow Imrad. We have title, abstract, and keyword. This should be available in any research paper or an article. And also we have the main body, text, introduction, method, result, and discussion. Also we have conclusion, acknowledgement, references, and supplementary data. So the last one, supplementary data, it is not compulsory. It is optional. It depends on your research. You can provide it or not. So each section we will discuss them, and I will give you some tips to write each section. For title, so what's the specification of title? The title is the main advertisement for your article. It is essentially to get effective title. The specification include the title should identify the article main issue and begin with article subject matter. Should be accurate, unambiguous, specific as possible, short as possible, and interesting, and make a question for readers to read. So what should be not included? What should be not included? Not included in title. Some people, they say study of, investigation of. Please forget these words. Don't put these words in your title because you are already studying. Just this is redundant. Just writing word not useful. So study of, investigation, into, observation on, avoid them, and also avoid abbreviations as possible, because sometimes you need, there's most familiar abbreviation and discipline, but try to avoid them. Authors. Then after I'm writing the title, I have to write the authors. The authors who contribute, the author, all the people who contribute in your research. Normally we're starting with the first author who did this research, who go to the lab, who went to the lab, who analyzed the work. So the first one almost the scholar or the students, and the second one depend, sometimes the supervisor or not, depend on the just what they just the agreement between them. So there is no compulsory rule to set them. The corresponding author, it can be the first author and can be third or fourth or second, depend on you. And the order of authors is the same. The first author like the last author, they are equal for everything. But in some countries they just differentiate between them. They set for first author, like in Iraq, 100%, and the second author 80%, and 7, and the third 70%. Is not applicable. This is in other countries, because the first author, like the last author, the corresponding author who has the email that pointed and that pointed on the paper. Then the keyword, I will turn back. We have to go to the abstract, and then we select the keyword. So abstract, we should be writing a good abstract. The abstract, like complete research article, what should be included? This is the most important. Should be include the problem or the objective or your research, and the methods that you followed, and results and conclusion. This is all of them should be available in your abstract. Here I will share sample of abstract. This research, if you right now, this research, one of my paper. Here are the first 2 lines. You can see the aim of and the objective of this paper. Here, the yellow color, you can see this is the present work, utilize it, blah blah blah. Here you can see this one, and then we follow it for the methodology. Then here, the green color, you can put your results. Finally, you put your conclusion here. So this is one of the, this is how to write your abstract. So first of all, you have to write objective or the aim, and then or the problem, and then you can write methods and result, and finally conclusion in 1 or 2 lines. So usually it doesn't, the abstract doesn't include references, figure, or tables. If you mention abbreviation, you have to, at first mention, you have to cite the full name of the abbreviation, even in abstract. The most important question, when I can write my abstract, when I finish my research article, then at the end, you can write the abstract after finishing, not at the beginning. Therefore, the abstract should be standalone. It can be like advertisement for your topic. Should be accurate and specific and clear here. And the abstract has limited number of words. So normally from 50 to 300. But most of journal, they ask you to write between 150 to 150, almost. It depends on the journal. So if you just decide around 150 or 200 if you want to write, then you will not return back again and again to write your abstract. Then we can select our keyword. The keyword, most important word, normally 3 to 6 words. The keyword they use for indexing. So you have to select 3 general words from your topic and 3 specific words from your topic. Here, the word can be compound word or complex words. They called one word, even compound or complex word. Then after abstract, we have introduction. Normally the introduction, 98% of readers, they read your introduction, but less than 2% of them cite your article. So the introduction very important because include the problem, all the information that related to your topic. So should be include brief background information of the current study, should be focused and provide integrated review of pertinent work. That means you have to provide up-to-date work almost. So last 5 years, 10 years, but we prefer to last 5 years. Should not be too long. So almost one page and a half is not 3 or 4 pages. So the preferable is 1 page and a half. Should be show the importance and of study and the problem statement and the aim and the advance should in this part. Should we introduce your topic and significance, as I said, of your student, capture your audience, and finally at the end of the abstract you can write your aim. So it's like a triangle you can see here with base to above. So the general, to include general introduction, you can move like this triangle. Then you can focus your direction of paper and telling about the others, and then you can be more specific and showing what will you do, and then you can support your theory and hypothesis by some data from literature. Then conclusion, that means will inform the others your aim. The abstract can be the introduction, and here you can, if you see, sorry, if we see here, the abstract include at the first 2 lines the aim. Meanwhile, the introduction and include the aim at the end of introduction. So at the end of the introduction, you can find the aim of the research. So this is the easiest way to read any research. So this is easiest way to read, also not to write, to read also. If you want to read some papers, so just go to the last 3 lines from introduction, and then you can see what the researcher did in this work. So then we can move to the second section. So introduction, it will be number 1. Here we can start numbering with introduction. The abstract doesn't have number, keyword doesn't have number, so we have numbering with introduction. And the second one is the material and methods. So material and methods should be written when at the first time you went to the lab or to the field, whatever what you did. So every day when you work, you have to write what you did in lab book or any memorandum. So you have to write every day what you did, and then when you go to write your article, you have methods. You have already written your methods. So what should be included in this section? Should include many details and all details about your experiment. So, and this question, who, what, where, when, how, and why, you have to answer these questions and the methods. And also, you have to provide information about like study design or any details related, suppliers, manufacturer, country. This is related to the instruments and tool and materials. Also, if you did work with biological or medicine, you have to provide the animal and the human protection details, also the measurement and instrument, statistical analysis and data collection, how you did the statistical analysis and data collection, the procedure that you followed. And you can divide this section in some descriptive subheading. Then after the methods, you can write your results. Here, the results you can express in tables or figures or paragraphs. So selection figure depend on your research and which type of figure. Also, you have to know why you select this type of figure. So when can I use table and when can I use figure? This is a question you have to answer before depict or listed your results. So here you can provide your results in tables and figures or in paragraphs. All the best way to report your results, you can discuss directly with your results. Some journals or some peoples, they divided the result and discussion in two sections. They separate discussion from results, but I prefer to discuss. For me, I prefer to discuss result directly because it's not like it's easier for you. So the results should be only the representative results and this most distinctive results. Please do not hide your data. If you are saving for later paper, you just try to make the process is more clear. You can use heading and subheading. For results, should be concise and accurate with your methods and your introduction and your aim. Should be short and easy to understand, consistent with the abstract and introduction. Give table and figures where you need, with sufficient or information. Please do not repeat information that's in a graph and text. So the appearance of results, it's preferable to be in black and white, better than colored, because some of journals, they asked you to pay more for colored. So it is preferable to use only black and white if possible. When you need colors, it's okay, no problem. So for figures that you collect from devices like SEM, TEM, please don't modify them. just put them, and you can provide with all information that relates, like scales, whatever you did. For the discussion, the most important section, and sometimes some people they failed in this section because they doesn't understand and they didn't do well in this section. So the easiest way, you can mix the discussion with the results and just divide them in heading and subheading, and try to answer the questions that posted in introduction, and also try to correlate your finding with the existing knowledge, and try to differentiate between new results and previously reported. That means try to show your work by compare your results with others, and try to interpret your results based on the facts, not speculations, and support your interpretations by references. So if you say this results related to blah blah blah, and then you have to put reference. If you didn't put reference, so this is just hypothesis. If you put reference and support your what you said or what you write, so it's good. So some pitfalls should be avoided and should be aware when you discuss. Avoid speculation or over discussion. Avoid use wording. There's a strong words like proves, confirms, removed all doubts. So this is because we are scientists. So what you find today, next day it will change. There is no complete thing, because almost we deal with theories. So the theories may be changed. And then after finishing writing result and discussion, try to revise this section again and again and again. And also try to have you answer your question or research question. Have you answered this one? If you yes, you can move to the next section, which is conclusion. Check on the organization of your results, number and inequality of illustration. For example, if we have long tables, cannot be reported in results. We can on discussion section. You can make it as a supplementary file. So the tables with more than 10 or 12 arrow, so they almost they reported in supplementary files. Please avoid sudden introduction or add a new terms or ideas when you discuss or report your results. Be specific. Don't just use general word. Try to use percentage or some specific word to describe your result, and try to show your work. This is the most important thing. Then we can move to the final section, the conclusion. So some people don't differentiate between conclusion and abstract. So the conclusion, the general term for conclusion, I can say the answer for a question of your research, or we can say have you got the aim of your research? Have you solved the problem? Here can be put in your conclusion. So try to identify key findings and applications in conclusion section. And should not be summary of your work as done in abstract. Conclusion should be include some limitations that you face it, and also some recommendations to tackle these limitations for further studies. Here we can finish our paper. Do not forget to add acknowledgement, because the acknowledgement that proves you are did with help of others. So the acknowledgements, one of the criteria of acceptance. So you can acknowledge your advisor, your financial sponsor, the proofreaders, typists, suppliers, or anybody who help you. So this, when you put the acknowledgement that, for example, even though there is no financial sponsors, but you use the lab of university, so you can make acknowledgement for the university, even though they don't help you, because this will give interfering for the editor. You are did the lab, you are did the work. This is real work, not fake work. So this is the importance of knowledge, acknowledgement. The references, then the last part is the references. The references should be up to date. The references that used should be up to date. I mean, when you try to support your hypothesis and your research, try to use up to date as possible. And from ISI or Scopus journals. This is important thing. Try to cite the main scientific publications that related with work. Do not inflate the manuscript with many references. I saw one guy had published a paper in conference, just two pages or 3 pages, and he put 70 reference for it's not, I mean, here the problem, his problem and topic doesn't need too much, and he inflate the references, and this work will not get citation in the future, because the people who read this type of papers, he will not interest, and I think there is no impact for this type of paper. So please, if you want to do good paper, you can do good paper for good contribution. That means we will get good citation in the future. Try avoid excessive self-citation. You can put some citation for you. Self-citation is okay because you are expert in this field, so there is no problem. But try to avoid the excessive citation.
Awesome. Conceptualization.
Sorry, Dr. Saleem, I think we lost your voice. Could you please Open your voice again, because I have a problem now. We cannot hear you. I don't know.
Okay, you are right. You heard me now?
Yes, yes, we are hearing you now.
Okay.
Continue. Go on, Doctor.
Okay.
Thank you.
So after writing, after finishing from your references, you can just go through with proofreading. So proofreading is essential for you because most of paper, because we are not native with English language, so most of our paper have grammar or English mistakes. So I need correction. Please go with proofreading, because most of paper they are get rejected in the first week from submission because the language. So many people, they asked me, how can I write? You can just write easiest way. If anybody can read the abstract and understand your paper, this is the best way to writing. Do not use the literature or novel or complicated words in writing. Just use simple way. So for scientific language, we will use the present tense to known facts and hypothesis. Also, if we can use the past tense when we will try to tell the others what we did. So, for example, for example, when I try to describe my methodology, so try to use the past tense for methodology, because almost we did in past. Avoid using passive voice for fact. Just use, but you cannot say I did, we did. You can use passive voice. This research was done. So it is better than use we or I in writing. Final step, revision and proofreading. I say you can go through your article and read article once or 2 times, 3 times, it depends, and you can share your article with your co-authors and read, because they will discover your mistakes and do some corrections for you. So the revisions is very effective and for the study. Maybe they add some supporting information, and could enhance the flow of the and the order of the article. So this is the importance of revision. What should be avoided during the writing? Avoid use jargon. That means you can use only one word better than use a phrase. For example, a considerable amount of, you can use much. On account of, you can use because. A number of, you can use several. That means better than use several words, you can use one word. So they call jargon, and preferred to use these words. So the responsibilities for you as author, when you prepared your manuscripts, you have to submit a new and original article. This is compulsory for you, and they will ask you. The manuscript should be checked by all authors, list of authors, and they know this paper follows them, related to them. Also, you can obtain the copyright permissions from them, and also for figures if you need, and table from the other journals if you just make a copy or reproduce them. Also, you have to write the proper affiliation and the acknowledgement. This is as our responsibilities. You have to do, you have to aware before submission. So to sum all, as a conclusion for our workshop, I think we have, yeah, just I moved for 1 hour. So the criteria of acceptance. So the originality or novel, that's mean you have a creative research methodology and new and important research findings. Specific quality, scientific quality, that's mean you have good contribution and have you will impact on the scientific community. The experimental design and methodology is well written and should be depth and research data representation well, and throughout they are going throughout in logical discussion. How to get good chance for acceptance your paper? As I said, indicate the acknowledgement about the grant or fund number. This is important. If you have fund number, this is will help you for acceptance. Submitting for the target journal and within the scope of your paper. Your references almost reliable papers and the same of field. Adding your limitation in your study before conclusion or in the conclusion is okay. Choose strong title who reflect your paper content. In the first line of abstract, refer the significance of study and objective as 2 lines in abstract. This is good criteria to acceptance. And the major reasons for rejection. The study just confirmation of previous work. That means you have already duplicated, there's no novel. Poor experimental design. Target journal is not suitable, they say, out of scope. And weakly written and the presentation and language. This is major reasons for rejections. Publishing ethics. I think we don't have much time. Maybe next time we will discuss publishing ethics because it's too long. So I will leave them for you when you can read when I share the our presentation with you. Right now, Mr. Hamza, I will give you the mic to open questions, to open time for the questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saleem, for this interesting and very insightful workshops. I believe that all the participants over here, it was very useful for them and they learn a lot for today. So thank you very much, Dr. Saleem.
You're welcome.
And so right now we are not taking too much time, so we will go straight forward to the questions. So please, if anyone have a question, he can ask before we end the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so looks like there is no any questions so far. So I just want to clarify one thing, that ISS Iraq is going to provide this workshop, inshallah, online, and it will be recorded for the students who already missed the workshop. And inshallah, we will organize other workshops in the future. And of course, with you, Dr. Saleem, and we would like to, and it will be our honor to host you again for other workshops in the future. And thank you very much for your time. And
thank you. You're welcome.
And thanks for all the participants for joining us for today. So I think no more questions right now. So I believe I'm going to end the session, and inshallah we'll see you in other sessions, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Frank.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hamza and Dr. Saleem. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome.